Hi everybody, this is my elevator speech for Module 2 on effective instruction and evidence-based practices. I will summarize what I've learned from Module 2. I'll discuss evidence-based practices versus research-based practices. I'll discuss effective instruction, class-wide peer tutoring, and some implications for teachers. Okay, so what I gained from the difference in evidence-based practices versus research-based practices is that it is truly what it says, that evidence-based practices are practices that are proven to be effective based on actual data, and that evidence-based practices are the gold standard for us to follow as special education teachers as well, because the numbers are the facts, and the criteria is much more rigorous, I believe, for the evidence-based practices. And the difference is that the research-based practices are loosely researched practices that do not have criteria to judge their effectiveness, where evidence-based practices are proven to be effective. And here I have effective special educators. Effective special educators should teach skills explicitly, provide lots of practice for students, and provide feedback. New learning should happen in small steps or chunks and in a reasonable amount of time, giving students plenty of time to practice the new learning, and then to allow them to master each step before moving on to the next step and what we're trying to teach. Teachers should monitor student progress with lots of questioning while also checking for understanding. When I think of this, I think of formative assessment and how I try to always work that in as part of my lesson plan. And then finally, for the test for mastery, the summative assessment. And then too, I think would be a great time to kind of reevaluate to see if any reteaching is necessary. And again, here with the model, lead, then test. Model teaches the new skill. That's something that I would do as the teacher, would say, watch me, this is how we do it. Then I would say, see, each step, explicitly on how to practice the new skill, and then allow the students to try it, which would be the we do, and then give them plenty of opportunity to practice, and then test them. And that's where students are assessed in the you do. And class-wide peer tutoring. Peer tutoring is when you would pair a higher performing student with a lower performing student so that they can work together on academics and even behavioral expectations. Peers can work together as it works with the original teaching time allotted and doesn't require more time, although we will have students that get extended time to learn the new information. And I like this because it promotes acceptance of students that have learning differences in the general education classroom. When I was, a mom advocating for my son, I would ask, and I didn't even really know this was an evidence-based practice. I would ask for my son to have a peer buddy to work with him through the day. Then it was more about behavior, and being able to walk in a line and being able to go through the lunch line and pick up his lunch and to sit with his peer buddy during like performances at this school. Because I remember when he was a real little guy, he would just cover his ears and he didn't want to be in this huge auditorium with the entire school, but his peer buddy made it a little bit easier for him to be able to kind of go with the flow and do what the class was doing. So yeah, I do love that part of the promoting acceptance. And I just was not aware that there were so many different types of peer tutoring, the cross age, same age, class wide, and then the PALS, the peer assisted learning strategy, where it's more curriculum based, evidence based strategies that target reading and math when students are working together in peer tutoring. And finally, I have our implications for teachers. EBPs are the gold standard of practices that have been proven to be effective. And then effective special educators must model, lead, then test. And class-wide peer tutoring is an effective EBP for students with EBD or even other learning differences as well. Right? That's what I have for you.